Let's slow this down.
Hello everyone, and we are back today with some historic. Just wanted to showcase my my Teferi deck that I built. It's a control deck. It's my preferred playstyle. Azorius control, I know. Kill me now because everyone hates playing against Azorius control. I'm gonna go over it very quickly now, so you don't have to listen to this too much, and the game's probably going to take some time, but this deck is very strong. I made it myself. It helped me get blast through the ranks pretty quickly, because yesterday and the day before yesterday I was kind of stuck in Platinum 3 and 4, and now I'm almost Platinum 1, so this is pretty good, gotta say. So here we go. We have 4 Pact of Negations to counter really troublesome spells, even if we don't have any mana up. A Graph Digger's Cage, just one. If we are lucky to draw it early on, we can stop like goblin decks. If not, whatever. It is what it is. It's not bad to have one of those in best of one, because you never know what kind of deck you pair it or against of. But you don't want to have 4, because if you have 4, you draw it at the wrong time when you absolutely do not need it, so it's not recommended. 2 Search for Azcanta to filter our library. I think it's an excellent card for this reason. We can go through our library. If it flips or transforms, then it's pretty good, because then our opponent will have a lot of trouble keeping up with us, because we can basically pick and choose the cards that we need, mostly counter spells or disruptive spells to destroy permanents and whatnot. Then we have Narset, Part of Veiled, just one. Again, it has the same function as a Search for Azcanta, not so much stopping opponents from drawing a card. If we really wanted to do this, we can build a deck around Narset herself. I think she is a very powerful Planeswalker, but in this case, we just use her as a filtering card. That's why there's only one in here. Then we have a couple of Neutralize, just extra counter spells with cycling so we can draw some cards. And here's our removal package. For Cast Out, excellent card, has Flash and exiles a target non-permanent until it leaves the battlefield. Also has cycling. I can't understand why this card is just an uncommon, because I think it's super powerful, but it's great. Of course, we have 4 off here. It deals with all the troublesome stuff, whether it be Ugins or Ulamogs, Heliots, I don't know, a Witch's Oven, Great Henge, Priest of Forgotten Gods, I don't know, all kinds of stuff. Then, to settle the wreckages, they're mostly in here to stop big go-wide strategy decks like Elves or the Neoform deck. I mean, we hope to stop them at least. This gives us a fighting chance, a very good card. I mean, the opponent gets a lot of lands, but we exile all this stuff. It's, I think, an auto include, especially in best of one, is very useful. Then 2 Shadow of the Sky. It's arguably one of the worst board wipes. I mean, it's playable, but we don't want to give cards to our opponent necessarily. Still, it gets rid of creatures, why not? And then 4 Wrath of God, obviously, so we can get rid of their creatures. Then we have, if everything is not going our way and it seems like the game is at a stalemate, here we have a Jace, Wielder of Mysteries, just in case we need a win con on the board, draws us cards, let us win the game if we don't have cards in our library, so pretty useful. Just a one-off is fine, don't need more than that. It's a cool card, I like it. It used to be a lot more popular, but since Thassa's Oracle's printing, this card lost its shine a little bit. I think it's pretty good in here because we don't run any creatures, so it's fine. Then for Elspeth Conquers Death, again, great removal and disruption spell, and we can get our Planeswalkers back. Especially useful because we run for Teferi, Hero of Dominaria. It's the centerpiece of our deck. This is the card that we always want to see on our side of the board. It's an amazing card. It's an amazing Planeswalker, one of the very best in the game. So, yeah, what can I say? We draw a card, we untap 2 lands. If you have this guy on board and a Pact of Negation in hand, make sure you protect this guy at all costs, because he can untap your lands and draws you into cards that you need. It's just gas on a card, right? Can also deal with very problematic permanents, so that's great. And if we're lucky, we can get off the emblem, which happens very rarely, but that's not really the point of this deck. If you wanted to, you could build around this ability, but we're not going to do this here. This is straight up control. Here is our finisher, the Shark Typhoon. I mean, very interesting card. I think it's really funny. It's good in standard. It's pretty damn good now also in historic. Like, people were a little bit iffy when this card came out, if this is just a meme card or not, but it has actually proven that cards like Day of the Dragons, a card back in the day that was a little bit similar to this, they do have staying power, especially in a control shell. They like this. I don't think Shark Typhoon would ever be as popular if it didn't have that cycling ability. That cycling ability, getting a token out of it, like a big shark or even a small shark to block a dangerous creature, makes this card so damn good. At the end, once we have enough lands, we want to drop this thing, play a lot of spells so we can get an army of sharks and overwhelm the opponent. That's basically our game plan. It happens most of the time once we get to that stage. I mean, it's the another centerpiece of this deck, conjunction with Teferi, very powerful. Then we have one Amaria's Call. It's just a specialty land to get a couple of angels in, especially for an army of sharks. It's pretty useful, but if we don't play this, it doesn't really matter. It's just like a win more card in this deck, I would say. Then a couple cards of Ardenvale. Sometimes we need to make a blocker. The usual shell, I guess, for an Azorius deck. We do have 4 Radiant Fountains, because sometimes you need the life. This helps you out, even if you're just at your last life. It's pretty useful to not die to something, so getting a couple life here and there is very important in this deck. Then temples, irrigated farmlands for cycling if we really need to. The rest is pretty standard, I would say. I don't have the whole playset of Hallowed Fountains. I don't have the wildcards for it, unfortunately. Glacial Fortress the Sam, but it's okay. I mean, it really doesn't matter because we're playing a long game anyway. So we just hope to outvalue our opponent. A card I was thinking about in this deck that would have been maybe pretty useful is Mace Mind Tome. The Brain Book, as I mentioned before, this is a pretty useful card. If there's a chance, maybe next time I use this deck I will include it. It's pretty useful because we can scry and draw a card, but we don't want 4-offs. We have other cards that allow us to do the same thing, so it's not that important. It's more important in a deck that doesn't draw many cards, for example, a big red deck or something like this. Anyway, why don't we just get into a game, a ranked game, of course, just see how it does. All right. Pineapple, the fruit dude. Interesting name. Pretty funny. Is this good? We go first. That's nice to see. I think this is a fine hand. A little bit on the slower side. I mean, I'm not too happy about that Ardenvale and... Now that I see it, I dislike it, so let's mulligan it. Sorry. This is fine. Let's get rid of the Elspeth Conquers Death. Let's play this, tapped, and let's just keep going. So they don't know exactly now what we're playing. Let's hope they play creatures. Okay, now they know what we're playing. We could Pact of Negation and then die on our upkeep. We don't want to do that, obviously. So if they play this and a Thoughtseize, there are two options. They might either play some sort of Golgari control deck or like a fight deck, or it's Sultai. I'm a little bit worried about Sultai. But they got rid of the Shatter the Sky, so I assume they have a go white strategy. So maybe they're not a control deck. Let's just see. Okay. Scavenging Ooze, alright. Well, we can take a couple hits of that thing, so that's fine. Okay, great, that's a good draw. Alright, there's not much to do right now. We're gonna take this hit. We don't run creatures, so... Artifact or creature card? Yeah, I don't have those, so knock yourself out. We don't run creatures, so... Cheville. Okay, well... Not much to do here, honestly. I mean, once they cast something very dangerous, like a Gargaroth or like a Phyrexian Obliterator, then we're gonna use those cast outs, but we can take this for now. Do I cycle this? I don't think so. I think we're just gonna get there the old-fashioned way. Speaking of the devil, this is the perfect draw, and we have a counterspell to back it up. I think we're good here. I mean, anything can happen, right? Okay, doesn't do any much. You don't get any counters because it's not a creature. In Scavenging Ooze, it's an amazing card. I'm so glad they reprinted this. In a core set too, like it really deserved that spot. Such a great card. Alright. Okay, maybe they have something. Alright. Liliana. Okay, well that's fun.
Run now. And I might spare your lives.
Alright, we are going to snack this thing away.
You only think you've won.
I'm going to drop this land. We don't need it now.
We're doing things my way.
Wrath of God. And we're good, I guess. I mean, let's see what they cast. If it's something big, again, Gargaroth or... I see. Maybe they... okay, they do nothing. That's good. It's very good. Let's get some life. Let's just wait. Okay. Seems like they have nothing going on. That's good for us. We could also use some cards, but we have the protection, so that's... They know about this. Maelstrom Pulse. No, thank you. Yeah. Okay. Well, now they have a window, but what can we do? They're still waiting for another pulse, I believe. Interesting. I mean, we could cast a Teferi, but I'm worried that they play like maybe a Casualties of War, something like that, or another Maelstrom Pulse. Like if they get rid of one land and what, then it's fine. So let's just wait. Let's see what they do. I want them to commit to something. Okay. I think they're waiting. Okay. Yeah, no. I like to keep those hands solid for now. Like, let's gather some cards. I think we're gonna cycle the Shark Typhoon here. Put some pressure onto them. They do have something. Okay. See, yeah, let's do it for 5. Maelstrom Pulse. At least we can draw it out of their hand. Oh, they don't. Okay. Well, let's just attack here. Let's see what happens. They have something in their hand. Fatal Push. Okay. Fair. Alright. Let's play a Search for Counter. And just end the turn. These cast outs there, I mean our opponent really got scared shitless by those cast outs. The fact that it has flash is really not good for them. It keeps them on their toes. That's why it's so good. Like, they wouldn't be worried about Shadowless Sky or anything like this, but the cast out is a problem for them. And I think they want to get their Liliana back there, eyeing that thing all the time. Okay. Well, that's good for us. Okay. Do we need another Teferi? I don't think so. I'm gonna put this in the graveyard. Ooh, okay, that is great. So I think... Can we can play the Narset. We need some lands. Or a counterspell. I would be glad if we could get a counterspell. Interesting. I don't think they tutor or get anything out of their library, so let's just stick with that. If they want to pulse it, be my guest. Be my guest. And we can make a shark here. They probably have a fatal push, but I really do not care. Artifact or creature card. I have none of these things. But you can look at my hand. I mean, now they know, right? Ooh. Graveyard. Yep. Let's just flip the Escanter next turn. I don't know what they're trying to do here. Like, they know I have the Elspeth Conquers Death, though. Are they done yet? I don't know how they get out of this. I mean, we got the land advantage, we got the card advantage. I mean, slowly. We got the same amount of cards, but... They didn't have a Raska at the beginning. Like, a Raska is one of those cards that can be problematic for us. Okay, are they roping us now?
Meditate.
No, they're not.
Prepare.
Okay. Okay, let's get the pact. I'm down. Let's jam. Let's jam Teferi.
I know what
Draw a
must be
card.
done.
Assassin's Trophy. Oh no. Nice try though.
No time for a break.
Okay. And turn. Untap. 2 lands. I mean, if they want, they can do it again. Bloodchief's Thirst. Do we care? Nah, I don't think so. Well, let's cycle this. Okay, well, thanks.
I suppose that's how it was meant to happen.
Ooh. Okay. Oh no. Transform. Autoplay. Play this. Play that. And thank you. It might be not the most exciting game, but it kinda is, because Pineapple has to try to get through us, and I guess he was testing the water by playing that Scavenging Ooze. He's not really sure what to do. He doesn't have the mana for something very impactful, I think. Alright. So now I think it's the time to jam this. And yeah, let's just end the turn. If they want to get rid of this, we at least get a 4/4 shark out of it. I'm fine with that. We also have a pact. I don't know what they are playing. I simply don't get it. What is this? Is this like control, death touch? Assassin's Trophy, no thanks. And a 0/0 shark. I mean, they can pulse it. I don't care, really. I just give them something to do. Okay, that's... You love to see it. Going over to end step. Let's get that neutralized. Yep. Alright, let's yeah, can go in tapped. Well, we got nothing to do, so let's just wait. Time is on our side. I mean, this is not the best way to grind ranks, but... you know what? Just so we can get a shot. I'm fine. You can now get rid of the shock typhoon. I mean, even this thing is now a clock. So... As I mentioned, I still have a Jace, so... Alright. Alright then. Let's get some life. They're not giving up either, so they're still in this. Okay, thanks for letting me do stuff, I guess. Maybe they have a fatal push. Do they? Yeah, okay. That's fun. Yeah, perfect. Perfect. Let's just jam this. Okay, so now they're in trouble. They don't play anything above mana cost 2 in terms of creature, and this is so strange. I still have no idea what they're playing. Alright. Alright, I suppose. Another one of those. Okay. Well. Alright, alright. Still got another one, so let's jam. Another fatal push. I mean, if they do try to destroy the shark, we can always Heartless Act. Okay, that's fine. That's fine. Okay. Dread Horde invasion. Okay, that's something. I mean, yeah. But you do know I'm just gonna tuck it, right? So why would I not? Oh, that's just insulting at this point. Yeah, let's get a Teferi. Let's put this game to bed.
I know my responsibility. Keep up the pace.
Okay. We can still get a card with Scanta. Thoughtseize. Yeah. Go ahead. What do you want to get rid of? My cast out? I suppose, okay. Sure. Go ahead, man. This doesn't matter. So let's play a search for Scanta. And let's draw a card.
You know what? I'm not done.
Let's just check what we get. Yeah, that pact seems pretty good now. Okay, thanks. Thank you for playing. Hope you had fun. And we are back with the wrap up. Okay, this deck was pretty insane, I gotta say. I mean, it is a control deck, right? So I thought we had the right amount of tools to go against that deck that we played against, the Golgari deck. It was clearly outclassed in that way. But that doesn't mean anything really in Magic. Like, we could have gotten a bad matchup, like Mono Red would probably have smashed us to dust because they're so fast, right? But still, I had a good time with this deck. This deck feels good. Feels good to play because it is pretty relaxing. It requires, of course, some thought, but it can deal or handle most situations pretty well. I'm not too sure if what the ceiling is here. I suppose like a deck that has even more counter spells would be problematic. something that's just faster. Like if we don't get the Grafdigger's Cage in time, I suppose goblins could overrun us. Unless we get lucky, they miss a turn cycle and we get to settle the wreckage, of course. Yeah, I mean, that's the only thing I can think of. It felt really strong and I felt confident playing it. It took a long time. I guess that's the downside. Like with all control decks, like you need to be patient. You need to wait and wait and wait. And most opponents, at some point, they're just gonna pack it in and say, "Oh, that's not worth it. It's not worth fighting for, maybe," and just move on to the next game. I don't know. This game could have gone on longer, probably, if we would have played in paper, where you actually face each other as opponents instead of moving on to quick to the next game. But depends. I mean, I thought it was a pretty interesting game to a point, until we had like complete control and he had no more cards in hand. The opponent made some mistakes, some tiny misplays that I guess he could have handled a little bit better, like threat assessment, like with the Thoughtseize, I don't know. The cast out, he should have gotten rid of that like early on, because that's a card that just gets rid of all the important stuff. Anyway, that's it from me. If you like this content, please like and subscribe. Thank you. I'm going to see you again in the next video. Until then, bye guys.